Hello everyone, and welcome to tonight's presentation of OTF Connects, OneNote for Class Collaboration with Jacqueline Calder. We're really thrilled to have you all with us tonight, and of course, as always, thrilled to have Jacqueline sharing her very broad and deep knowledge about all kinds of technology tools. And if you were in Jacqueline's previous session not too long ago, we touched on OneNote just a little bit, so this session is dedicated entirely to OneNote. And on behalf of Syria Skirhan, who's the administrator and facilitator of the OTF Connects program, we certainly extend our appreciation for you giving up some of your own time in your own evenings to further the learning of your students by taking on some more PD. So thank you all for being here, and thank you to Jacqueline. And here we are all across Ontario. Well, a good part of Ontario. And as always, please do share the OTF Connects information with your colleagues. We're really developing a really nice depth to the number of people who are participating in the sessions, and we love to see this genuine collaboration with colleagues from across the province. So thank you all. And I will now hand things over to, oh, my picture didn't stay, oh, there it is, to Jacqueline. And this is just a screenshot of the wiki, and she's already put the link in the chat, and we'll drop that in there again. And Jacqueline, I'll hand things over to you, and you can start the web tour if you like, and just let me know what you need.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. My name is Jacqueline, and I realized that on the wiki I actually forgot to put my contact information, so I'm just going to put this in my email address in the chat right now. And I'm going to open up a window here, a web tour, and we're going to see if this is working well tonight. Okay, it seems to be working. So can I get a green check mark from everyone if you see OneNote and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the screen with overview of OneNote, playing with OneNote, if that showed up? Okay, great. So this wiki is the address that we just put in the chat, the onenotefun.wikispaces.com. So that wiki isn't going anywhere. And basically it's an overview of what we're working through tonight, plus some extra resources. So you can access this anytime after. I don't plan on deleting it. I mean, you're looking for it 20 years from now. Maybe it'll have been archived somewhere by Wikispaces if they still exist, but it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So by all means, don't stress about getting down links. The only link you need is this onenotefun.wikispaces.com, and then you can have access to all of this information. So my plan for tonight, and this is editable or changeable depending on what we want, was to do an overview of OneNote very quickly, talk about some of the features and take a look at some of the features. And then I have a OneNote file set up, and I've got a viewing link for it and then an editing link. And I was going to suggest that you guys try that to see how it feels to share somebody else's OneNote like you would as a student. And then I have a page, and this is the most difficult part of OneNote, and this is where we may spend more or less time depending on everyone in our group tonight's situation. It's the OneNote on different devices. Because it varies how it works. Not how it works. It's very similar across all of them, and the same OneNote files can be shared on all devices, but each device has some different features. So depending on what kind of situations we're all in, and I'm going to ask us some questions about this in a second, depending on what kind of situation we're all in, we may want to understand how it works on different devices. And then we're going to look at, and during that time, OneNote on different devices, I'm going to do a screen share, like a little demo, from a Mac computer, from a PC computer, and then there's some videos of how it works on a tablet. And we'll have already used the web version. And then my next plan was to go into OneNote Classroom Notebook, and we'll talk about what that is and about if we have access to it or not. And then talking about using it in the classroom, ideas. And then there'll be a list of features, very specific features of OneNote that we can talk about as time permits at the end. So I'm going to click on the web tour here and go to overview of, let's just get this link here. I'm going to go to the overview, and I can notice that Sue is having a problem with the web tour, so maybe this will fix it. And let's try this. Okay. Does everybody have the overview page now in front of them? Does that work? Okay, great. So it's working for most people. Sue, if the link isn't working for you, can you copy and paste it into your web browser as opposed to click, oh, and it didn't work? Oh, great. Oh, done and it doesn't work? Sorry, or done and it does work? Oh, okay. That might be something, some sort of odd conflict between your web browser and the Blackboard. Sorry about that. So I'll make sure that you know when we're switching pages, and then you can bring it into a browser. Sorry that that's not working perfectly for you there, Sue. That is a pain, but hopefully that workaround will work. Okay, so let me quickly just describe OneNote for those of us that might be very new to it, and then I'm going to get a feel for how you guys are thinking about using it. So OneNote is linear, which a lot of people ask, why do you use OneNote instead of things like Google Docs, which is online as well? And there's a couple of reasons why I use OneNote. Basically, OneNote is a big notebook for storing notes and files and pictures, and it's linear. So sometimes in education, I don't want to be linear, and my students are very not used to being, they're very much used to surfing the web in a non-linear function where they're clicking on links that take them all over the place. But there are times in education where linear is a good thing. And right now I'm teaching math, and for me, linear works for that so that we can have sections of topics and areas, and everything is archived into topics and areas. And it works very well in math. The other reason I choose to use OneNote myself as a teacher is that I can access it on pretty much any device. I haven't found a device yet that I can't access OneNote on. It might look different or might have different features, and I might have limitations on how I access it on some devices, but I can access the main parts of any OneNote folder from any device. The other reason I use OneNote is because on my computer, so on a PC or a Mac where I use an installed version of it, like the Office 365 or like the Microsoft Office suite, and I have a program on my computer called OneNote, when I access it from there, it works entirely without any internet. So if the internet doesn't work at my school for a day or the Wi-Fi doesn't work, as long as my computer's been online recently and synced or sunk, I have access to all my files. So if the network goes down and all hell breaks loose in my class, I can still access all of my planning and prep and lessons. Anything that was in OneNote I have access to because it's storing it on my computer. So those are the reasons I choose to use OneNote. And I'm going to ask a series of questions now just to get a feel for what everyone's access here is like, and just to kind of get a feeling for where I should emphasize and where we should spend our time, most of our time tonight. So we're going to use the green check marks or the red X's, and I'm wondering who has been into OneNote, any version of OneNote before at all. So who has opened up OneNote and played with it at all before? Awesome. Okay. Now, can I get those of you that have opened up OneNote and played with it before in the chat to type either web, meaning you access it through a web browser, iPad or Android tablet, or PC, like the installed version of a PC, or Mac, or all versions like Michelle. Awesome, awesome. Just so I can get get a feel for an idea for how we're accessing it. Excellent. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Okay, so my other question is now, I'm going to clear the check marks. Perfect. Now I'm going to ask you to put a check mark if you are envisioning you let me try that. Okay, a check mark if you're envisioning using this just for yourself as a teacher, and that can change by the end of the session. I'm just curious. Or an X if you're thinking about using this with students and teachers, so that you're working together with your students in there. Got it. Okay. Great. And our green check marks have an explanation. I can see that you're chatting, so I'm just going to wait for a second instead of rushing through. And right. Okay. Okay, and that's already triggering some bells in my head. Perfectly. So that's great. Oh, it's great for teacher collaboration, right? So you're working with other teachers. Awesome. Okay. Neat stuff. Okay. Now, my last question is, and I think this is going to have to be a chat question as opposed to a checkmark question. What types of devices would your students be accessing on if they're using OneNote? So what kind of devices do they have access to? Okay. Excellent. Cool. Great. Okay. Okay. So I'm seeing a wide variety. So I think what we had planned works, and basically there'll be times when you make a choice as to maybe a video that you're watching for a certain kind of device.
Hi, Jacqueline. I'm just going to give you moderator privileges again. Hey, folks.
Thank you.
Oh.
I'm back.
Okay, you are back. For a minute there, I thought you got bumped again, but you're just right there. Okay, folks, sorry.
No.
Continue on.
I think that would be the internet at my house because both of my devices got bumped, my PC and the Mac that I'm on. So I think my internet is having our weather is acting up and our local networks are having some difficulties, so sorry. Okay, let me just, refocus here and figure out where I'm going. Okay, let me grab my next link. And I think now it is time to play with a shared version of OneNote. So let me keep my fingers crossed that I don't get kicked out. Can I get a green check mark if you see the playing page in front of you? And I'm putting the link in the chat for you to access on your own page. Oh, so we're not seeing the web tour. Okay, oops.
Oh, it's there now. It might have just been a little slow.
Oh.
All right, I'm switching mine to green.
I lost it online, but that's okay.
So is your web tour blank now?
Yeah, mine is, but it's okay because I've got my other computer up and running and it's working on that one.
Okay. Do you want me to switch moderator privileges to your other computer? Or,
no.
Okay, then you can just tell me what.
I'm just going to try. I'm just going to do nothing. Just 1 second. Yeah.
No problem.
I'm good.
Okay.
Let's try this again. Okay, this looks better. Does everybody have playing now? Okay. If you don't see the playing page in front of us, can you click on the link in the chat right here? There we go. And then you can see it in a browser. We're going to be following another link in a second here anyways. Basically, my thought is let's all take a look at a shared OneNote notebook. In this case right here, the link that I'm posting in the chat will give you access to view only. So if you've clicked one of the other links, you might have editing rights. But if you click on the link that I've put in the chat right now, you will only be able to see and view. So some teachers might do this when they're sharing notes or lessons or just content, right? When they're just creating content. They might share, or like when you have teams, maybe you're going to share a schedule and other information. So if you want to try and click on the link in the chat, and it'll take you into a OneNote notebook, and there are 4 sections. There is a course resource section that has a course outline and links, and they're just silly, goofy stuff. I've put nothing important in there. And then there's a collaboration project section, or tab you'll see, and inside of there you'll see group 1 through 10, workspaces for 10 potential groups. And you'll see another tab I created, or a section called Unit 1 Lessons, and in there I put in about 10 just mock silly pages and lessons. And then there's a section at the end called Quick Notes, and it's actually password protected, so that just so you can see how that works when you password protect a section. And I will tell some of you the secret password to unlock that after. So I'm gonna ask anybody to, if you're taking a look through there, just browse, take a look, throw any ideas, thoughts, or questions into the chat. Maybe any ideas that you would have on why you might use a viewing only OneNote notebook, or maybe you wouldn't. That's quite possible. I actually haven't used one before, other than for this kind of session, but most of mine are the edit. But if you shared that link, you could share it to parents so that they have the viewing only link. No, you don't use you either, Michelle? I tend to use the sharing link, but now that I'm thinking of it, I could give my parents a viewing link for some of our work, which would be kind of neat. Ah, yes, cool. Yes, I love using my OneNote for lesson planning. Oh, that's a neat idea, Karen. So once different students have completed their work, they can share the viewing link for, and like maybe you post a link in a classroom or in Edmodo if you use another place in your classroom. That would be a great idea, so that students can look at each other's work. Oh, great idea. So other things to check out while you're in there playing around, the difference between sections and pages, so that there are sections and kind of as the big tabs, there's 4 of them, and then within each section there are pages. And then I'll give you the editing link. I'll paste the editing link in here now, and you guys can go in and start edit it. Yeah, guidance counselors could use that. Anyone can set up OneNote. I think I might have forgotten that part as we started. Sorry, let me talk about access to OneNote. OneNote is a free tool worldwide. You can go to onenote.com, create your own free Microsoft account, and create your own OneNote files from scratch. And that's exactly how I made the one that you guys are looking at right now. So anyone can make a OneNote account, or it's a Microsoft account, but anyone can make a free OneNote account, and off you go creating files. There is also access to OneNote through some school boards. So if, and we're going to have more conversations about this after, if your school board uses Microsoft Office, you'll notice that your school computers have a OneNote program installed on it, or could do. And then you can use the program on your computer. And the other thing is that if your school board uses Microsoft Outlook or Office 365 for your email, and for web versions of like OneDrive, like online file storage, within that program you'll see OneNote. And I can show people a quick tour of that from within mine after, if people are wondering if they have access. That's a neat idea, Michelle. That's a great idea. I use mine for a lot of documentation and assessment as well. I'm going to post in here now the editing link. So if you want to close the OneNote folder that you looked at, what browser are you using, Jan? And is it a fairly new version of it? I'm wondering if there isn't a problem. So if you take this link that I've given you right here and paste it into Internet Explorer, then you're getting the warnings that you've been given up there. Do you have any other, Google Chrome on your computer? Or Firefox? If you do have another browser, you could open up that browser as well and try it in that browser. Okay, open up Google Chrome. Leave your Internet Explorer open and leave your like Blackboard here open, but open up Google Chrome and try pasting that link into Google Chrome and then let me know if that works. Okay, sorry. For the rest of us, the link that is in the chat now is the editing link. So if you want to go in, and this is just a demo OneNote folder, there's nothing in here that you can mess up, like someone who's what www course outlines. Like, go in and play around and mess up. Like, there's nothing in here that's can be damaged. You can, if you want to really go to town and start messing around and playing, then go into one of the group pages in the collaboration project tab. Claim it as your own, put your name up top, and start inserting images or inserting links and text. But the other thing you should do, feel free to create a new section and practice adding a new page and naming your page. You'll see at the top of the OneNote on the left-hand side, like above the list, there we go. So Karen's group just renamed hers, her tab from Group 2 to Karen's Group 2. That's great. Feel free to add your own pages and name them by hitting the plus page or plus section and creating a new section or a page. Feel free to just kind of mess around and be silly in here and use the find feature. Look for a word that might be in here. Nice new page, Lisa. You can search for text and search for things. It is a quite robust search feature. Feel free to, Sean's page, booyah. So this is actually working faster than I anticipated. When I work on it with my students, when we're all on different devices and on a school network, I don't often see their work quite as real time as this. This is actually working quite fast. I'm seeing your changes and your edits fairly quickly. I use this at different times than I would use Google Docs. So for those of you that may be comfortable with Google Docs, then I'll explain why I choose the two different ones. But for those of you that haven't used Google Docs, then just ignore this and don't let it stress you out. I use Google Docs when I want my students either in different places collaborating at the exact same time, so if they're not in the same room. So maybe a class in my classroom and a class on the other side of Ontario, and they're working on like documents together, or if we are all working on a shared document at the exact same time. My OneNote for research, and if it's a small group and they have their own page within all of the broader pages, then I use it as long as they're right beside each other so they don't type over each other or make some mistakes by accident, because it can take a second to sync. But actually I think there's been some serious improvements from the last time I did a major collaborative project in here, because I'm even opening up my OneNote computer program, not the web version, and I'm seeing all of your changes and edits popping up very quickly. So usually it just takes a couple of minutes before anything syncs, and sometimes I force my computer program to sync until I see all the syncs, but today is happening quite quickly, which is kind of nice. Any thoughts or questions about just the basic editing and basic functioning? Some things to check out: how to add a text, how to add images, how to add links, and then look at some of the lessons where there's handwriting and drawing on the screen just to see what it looks like. I think there's just a couple of silly math little lessons about volume or something. But take a look at them. Yep, go for it. Rename any tab you want. You can just take a look at whatever you want and take a look at some of, the handwriting. You can't handwrite on the web version, but I'm going to explain the differences between which devices you can do handwriting on and which ones you can't do handwriting on. But just take a look and see what they look like. So I think it's the lesson on volume under Unit 1 lessons has some handwriting, and volume of a sphere or something, I don't know. There's a solution set in there that's got, oh no, that's not handwriting, that's just a scanned in page. But yeah, there's all sorts of fun stuff in here. And by fun, I mean silly. Oh, and the other thing is, look at the dream catcher investigation in the lesson. That's a PDF. And you can put a PDF into a page as a handout, and it shows up in it as almost like an image. But it's also, the PDF is also there to download. So take a look at how that is put in as well. Okay, I'm going to catch up in the chat. Oh, so that's interesting. I didn't really realize that. In my situation where I use OneNote, my students do all sign in because they have Office 365 accounts or Microsoft accounts. So Karen has said that she went to insert a picture and it says that she has to sign in. By all means, go for it and do it. I didn't realize you had to sign in to insert a picture. Sorry. Michelle, absolutely. For me, so this semester, let me just do a quick, while you guys are playing around in this, I'll just give you a scenario or explain my experience with OneNote and where I'm at in terms of trying to get it up and running. My class has, my school, all our grade 9s bring their own devices, either laptops or tablets, not just little phones. Like they actually have a laptop or a tablet. So all of our grade 9s, and if they don't have one, they get given a very old laptop from like an 7-year-old laptop refurbished with Windows 8 on it from our school. So every one of our grade 9s have a device. And then I have a OTF, yay, Ontario Teachers Federation, TLC co-op grant that I got at the beginning of this year to increase creativity and to work on doing the one-on-one BYOD for math, and how I was going to make that work for math to increase the creativity through and critical thinking through teaching through problem solving. So I have Wacom tablets. What they are they plug in with a USB into a laptop, and they let you use a pen as your mouse. And so my students in OneNote, if they come to class with a laptop, can borrow one of the Wacom tablets, plug it into their computer, and actually write math on OneNote. If they come to my class with a tablet, then they can use the Android tablet or the iPad app and write on the screen in OneNote. So they can make notes within OneNote with the handwriting in the situation that we're in. It's a Wacom tablet. I'll type it here. So it's like a mouse, but plugs in by USB, and it basically turns your mouse into a pen. It's not very good for really young students because you have to kind of have some decent hand-eye coordination, and some of my students, especially some of them with special needs, do struggle with that. But for some of my students, it works great for OneNote and for other devices, or other programs, sorry. So yes, so I can take things. The other thing with OneNote is that if my students do something on paper, I can collect them all, and I go to our photocopier, which is a scanner. I scan the devices, and our photocopiers or our scanners at my school automatically email them to me. I get a PDF in my inbox when I come home at night. I take my PDF, I put it like a handout into OneNote. I dump the pages from each student into their OneNote folder and annotate right there, and I can leave audio feedback as well. So I can, I don't have to rename them, Louise. If I put the PDF into it as a handout, it drops each page as a picture, and I just right-click, copy, and paste each picture into each kid's folder. So I don't have to rename anything. Yeah, and then I can annotate and leave audio feedback right with it. And I'll do a screen share and show you this. That's excellent, Michelle. We have a school in our school board that started using the OneNote with an outdoor ed program as digital portfolios. So the students, when they're out and about, have all of their phones and their iPod touches, can take pictures and recording voices and audio recordings, and then they can throw it all into OneNote from their phones. And then when they come into the school for in-class days, they can go onto any computer, go into the OneNote web version, and organize their materials, start to edit and put in their text, and they can work. They're using, yeah, they're just using their phones, Luis, and taking the pictures and then the OneNote app, and they can update it and sync it once they get into Wi-Fi area. How do you create folders for students? So you could do folders for students. So in this case, in our example here, I have different sections. I could just create a different section for each student. And then they have their own area to work in, and I could password protect them. Or you could have students create their own notebooks, their whole OneNote notebooks, and share the link to you. Or, we're going to get to it in a bit, there's the OneNote classroom notebook. And that's something that, if your school has Office 365, sets it up for you. And I'll show you that in a bit. Okay, I am going to get our next link for our next step. Now that we've all had some fun playing in there, we're going to get to the chaos that is OneNote on different devices. I know you're all very excited for that. I'm joking. But it is the most complicated part of OneNote. Oh. I just got a warning to sign in or create an account to continue.
Yes, I'm seeing that too. Just in Blackboard though?
Yeah, it's just in Blackboard. It's not anywhere else.
Okay. Link in the chat it is, folks.
This must be what Jan was getting earlier.
Yeah, I think it's an incompatibility between Explorer and possibly Blackboard and Wikispaces all not talking to each other really well at the same time. Because I see it now too. But I opened it in Explorer on my browser and it was okay. So hopefully you'll each have something.
What the link in the chat right now is the different devices page of the wiki. And basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and do a shared screen, and I'm going to show you the PC installed version of OneNote, and then you can ask any questions. I'm just going to do like a quick 2-minute tour, show you that same OTF Fun OneNote notebook in the installed version on my PC. Then I'm going to show you on my Mac really quickly. You've already seen the web version, and then there's two 2-minute videos, one for an Android tablet and one for an iPad that you could choose which one you want to watch. Just so that you get an idea on the differences between the devices. And then on that different devices page for the wiki, if you scroll down, there's a link to OneNote for every type of device. So there's one there for the web browsers, there's one for the PC, one for a Mac, iPad, Android, Windows Store, and so on and so on. And then the last thing that we'll talk about is the table of comparing features. It's like an overview of all the different features and which features, and this is just me creating it from my own personal knowledge and all these different devices, so there may be a couple errors in there, but the big ideas are there. And this might change as they improve the OneNote programs. Just which features work on what types of devices and which versions of OneNote. So I am going to try, sorry, I'm just going to catch up on a couple questions in the chat. Can a personal version of OneNote be synced with a student account? Yes, they can access. Yes. Your personal version can be shared with anyone, and anyone can access it. Luis, can you make my Jack Calder PC person a moderator so I can do a screen share from my PC for a second? Thank you. Okay, I'm going to try and do a screen share on a slow little PC that I've got that I decided to try for tonight, just to see how it works. Wish me luck. Okay. Wow, that looks really small. Is there a way to make that any bigger?
Do you see, wait, you're not in it. Okay, I'm going to unclick the Scale to Fit button and see what happens.
Yep.
Does that look bigger for everyone now? We can't see all the way to the right, though. We've got the scroll bar to deal with. But if most of your stuff is kind of hanging on the left, we'll be okay.
Okay, okay. Most people see it good. Great. Okay, so basically I'm in our OTF Fun OneNote notebook, but I'm on the version on my PC that's like downloaded and installed on my computer. So I'm not on a web browser. So school computers, if you have Microsoft Office, might have this installed on them already. If you have your own computer at home and you have Microsoft Office, you probably have this. This is a Windows 8 computer, and this is Microsoft 2013. And just to show you some of the differences, so my tabs or my sections come across the top, and then if I click on them, on the far right, the part that you don't see very well, but I'll bring over a little bit for you. Here we go. There you go. Those are all my pages. So I can go click on, this is my subsection. We can go to Lisa's Ideas. And we can go and play with the different pages within a section from here. And we can go into the lessons. And what you'll notice I did do on this front page, so this is one little thing that I did on this one. Okay, I hear the hands up. I'll be right there, Louise.
Yeah, it's just me. So I'm just going to jump on and let you know that when you needed to scroll to the right, everybody needs to scroll to the right themselves. So I put that in the chat, folks. But if you didn't catch that, Jacqueline's looking at stuff in the right menu bar. So go ahead and grab that scroll bar at the bottom of your WebTour space.
So on this home page of the Unit 1 overview, I've hyperlinked each one of these lesson pages to the overview. And I do this in my class a lot for math. So I can put the date, or you can put notes or whatever, and then links to the pages for that day. And if I click on that page link, it'll take me, you'll notice that it switched where I was on the right-hand side. Yeah, just another way to organize things or just to make work program for the teacher, who knows. But for students, you can almost create like little hyperlinked ebooks, right? So here's what the handwriting looks like, and I do have to scroll around to see it all. And here's what a PDF looks like, just scanned in and inserted as a handout. That's just silly math stuff, nothing exciting. Here's another PDF handout in handout mode. So the real big differences come when I start looking at my options across the top. So I'm going to click on Home. So I just have a few more formatting than I did in the web. I can do some more intense formatting. I also have little things that I can stick in. So if I click anywhere here, I'll start typing. And then if I click on my home, and I can pin this ribbon. I'm using a tiny little pin icon on the very right, which isn't important, but it just pins this ribbon open at the top so it doesn't close automatically on me anymore. I can insert little stars. I can insert a little to-do checkbox and then put a list. And if I make a list, it gives if I hit enter after putting in a to-do box, it automatically puts more and more checkboxes that I can come and check later. So for students working together in groups, they can make their list of things to do on one of their pages. In the Insert tab, you'll see that my ability to insert on a PC is huge. This is where Microsoft shows its love for Microsoft. No, they show their experience with Microsoft. They show what they really know. This is where it really pays off to have a PC and an installed version of OneNote. The option of installing printouts, attachments, spreadsheets, screen clippings, pictures, online pictures. You can start searching online sources, scanned images. I can record audio. I can record video which is what I'm writing on my screen and my voice when I'm annotating student work. Calendars, page templates. I can install math equations. I can install symbols. It is huge what I can insert on a PC installed version of OneNote. Students can access and see everything on any type of device, but they can't insert all of this great, wonderful stuff. Now I'm just going to show you the Draw tab. So here's the Draw tab. I can choose my pen length, width, and I can scroll down to very thick, or up here and highlighting, or very thin. And then I can choose my color from the color wheel. I'm going to choose orange, and I'm going to hit OK. And then I wish I had my Wacom tablet beside me now, but I can just use my mouse and scribble on the screen. Doesn't look very neat without my Wacom tablet to write, but I can use my pen tool. I can insert shapes. One that I love, and let me go down to a different page here. Hello lesson, looks good. This one I love. I'm such a math teacher. So I clicked on the little XY grid up here in the symbols or shapes, and then if I draw a grid here, it automatically gives me a little grid. And here's the next step. As a teacher, I need to go to Home, and oh, nope, not Home. Is it Insert? Where's my page? Is it Page Template now? Nope. Where's my page background? Let's see. Oh, maybe it's under View. Here we go. Under my View tab, one of the other options I can do on a PC is I can make grid lines in the back. So if my background was grid lines, and then I was on the Draw, and I'm going to go back to just my regular cursor, I can have this grid installed, and then I can use the pen tool, and we automatically just have a coordinate plane that we can draw on. And it takes 2 seconds on the fly in class. So I have a Wacom tablet, or you use your smartboard. That's the other thing is, so you might not have a Wacom tablet, but if you do have a smartboard, plug your PC into a smartboard, and you can start using your smartboard to do these lessons right within OneNote, and then you have an archive of it that students can go back and look at later. And you can have students working up at the smartboard as a station using OneNote, and then, I mean, it's just very similar to Smart Notebook except for the fact that we can all see it after and share it. So let me just, I think that's it. There's an eraser tool, and there's some other stuff. Let me just check. Yeah, there's some spelling stuff. I can go back and look at different versions. I can see which authors made which edits, which is great for a teacher, and versions. And then this is another little one. This Ink to Math is great. I can draw an equation and it'll put it into text for me. I'm going to come back into, yeah, there's a ton to explore, especially in the PC version. I'm going to come back to the chat though, and I'm going to, before I stop sharing on my little PC, I'm in the chat now on my other computer. Questions, thoughts, ideas, or things you want to see me try before I stop sharing on the Windows PC about the PC downloaded version of OneNote? Any thoughts or ideas or thoughts of how you might use it? Anything new that caught your eye? Anything you want to add or ask a question about? I know the screen sharing doesn't always work perfectly, so it's a little bit glitchy, but hopefully most of you will have access to a PC version to play with at some point.
I've got a question, Jacqueline.
Oh.
If you have students collaborating on something, are you able to protect aspects of a notebook or a page in a notebook so that they can't be edited after a certain point, or one student does something and then they can protect that stuff while another student comes in and adds?
So you mean like lock a page from editing but not lock it from seeing? Is that what you mean?
Possibly, or just I guess what kind of protection stuff you have if students were collaborating on a project together, but they needed to see each other's work, but you don't want them changing each other's work, you know, accidentally or whatever.
Right now, it's either you have editing rights or viewing rights only. So, or I can, like our session, like our quick notes section, it's password protected and you can't change it. So I think that I would have, if that was what I needed, I would have groups set up their own OneNote notebooks and give the rest of the class the viewing link. So
Okay.
if I had one group working on star constellations, one group working on planets, I don't know, I'm just pulling stuff out of the top of my head here. I would have them create their own OneNote notebook and give the rest of the class, we'd have a list of all the viewing links so that we could go and look at other people's.
Okay, I think one of the things I was wondering as well is that I noticed when I was playing on one of your pages that had an image that I clicked on the image and I was able to move it. And I was like, oh, put it back where it was. And I think there may be an ability to lock something in position, which would be different than protecting it from editing, but just so that things don't move when you don't want them to.
For images and PDFs, you can right-click in the PC or on a Mac. On the installed versions, you can right-click and set a picture or an image as the background of the page. They can, if they have editing rights, they can change that and move it. But it sets it as the background of the page. So when I bring in a picture or a PDF, so say I wanted to bring in a diagram for science of a cell into a OneNote file, and then in class we were going to label it together. I would bring in that picture of a diagram and set it as the background, because then when we drew on it, it wouldn't move around, messing up my labels.
I see. That makes sense.
But it doesn't stop them from editing.
Exactly. Okay.
It's just
That's
for the
cool
images.
to know as well.
So
now I know you're
in,
I was going to say you probably do want to pop back to the chat now.
Okay, so I'm going to take a look at the chat. How can you share the page with students? So that's a great question. And from the web version or from the PC version, I have either in the home sometimes or up under File. Oops. Under File, I have a share. Here we go. So right now I'm just showing you on my PC version. I have a share, and then I can invite people right here. So I can put in the names or their email addresses directly, and then I give them the can edit or can view, or I can click on the share button here, and I can get a link. There's shared links down here that I can just post in the classroom. So I can either just get a link for editing or a link for viewing and share it just like I did with you guys by posting the link up on the board or up here, or I can invite specific people and put their names up here, their email addresses, and then send them the invite. So either or. So I'm just going to come out of my sharing section, and I'm going to go look back at the chat. That's an excellent idea, Michelle. My class will be doing the same thing as part of a culminating activity in math. They're going to, I know it's not anywhere near as exciting as wonderful, exciting topics, but they're going to create their topics from our course as a final summative and create media for it and use OneNote to organize the chapters, and then I'll put it into an iTunes iBook, for them at the end. Oh, interesting about erasing peers' tabs. That's unfortunate, but good to know. So they can erase the whole tab even if it's password protected. How the language and translate works. I have absolutely no idea. I'm sorry. That is not an area that I've played with. So I'm going to just go through right now, take a look at it. Translate text into different language. Okay. So let's see if I put bonjour. It's the only word I can think of off the top of my head. That is not English. Let's go translate. Translate selected text. And it is telling me over here, bonjour, translate. It's asking me to install a translation service by the looks of it. so it doesn't work without some installation. I'm sorry, Diane, I don't know off the top of my head to look. Oh, I'm going to have to play with that some more. So I'll make sure you have my email address after and you can send me questions and I can play with it more. I haven't played with that a lot. I've played with OneNote in combination with assistive technology like WordQ and Read Write Gold, and it works great with that. But I haven't played with that a whole lot. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing now from, oh, no I'm not. I'm going to show you one more thing. Sorry. The web clipper. So this installs the OneNote Clipper. This installs with, let me just switch computers. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, switch. I'm feeling slightly multi-personalities over here. I am going to right-click my password protected area. I am going to turn off remove password. Oh, I'm not logged in as myself. I'm going to have to go back in later. The Quick Notes area, the OneNote Clipper, if I go to a web site, and let's pick a website, any website. Well, I know a good website. OTF, no, what was it? OneNote fun.wikispaces.com. Here we go. Okay, and I use this OneNote Clipper. I can choose to send a clipping to OneNote or to just create a brand new note. I'm going to screen clip. Okay, so it asks me what I want to clip. I'm going to clip this here. And then it asks me which notebook I want it to go into. And I'm going to choose our course resources page. And then what it does is it sends it automatically into, it's already here, that was fast. And it sends it with just an automatic date stamp as the title, but I can go up here and can put, what a great wiki, I can title that as a course resource. And then I have that as one of my pages, a clipping from that page. So that installed web clipper works really well. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my PC screen, I think, as soon as I can figure out how to do that. I'm lost. I can't find the rest of my, oh. Haha. Okay. 1, 2, 3, switch my computers. I'm actually going to close out from my PC, so I'm not using the bandwidth anymore. Okay. Jack Calder PC has left the building. What do you mean, Louise? The date stamp on it, sorry?
In the installed PC version that I have, when I do a clip and it goes into my notebook, the date stamp is at the bottom and it leaves some white space below the clipping and then puts the date stamp in tiny font. And then when I go below that to put any text, it often keeps the teeny tiny font size, which is like 6 points. And it just create some discontinuity in the flow of what I'm trying to do, text, image, and so I found that a little irritating that I couldn't turn it off. But you can easily delete it, but then you have to delete it every time, so that was just a minor irritation, but the benefit of the clipper was way more.
I think you might be looking to use a different tool then. Because I think the idea of the screen clipper is that when you're out researching, and you're not creating up like OneNote pages, but you're accumulating pages of research so they each have their own page, so that it's just dumping in, and then you can go in later. So it's like when you're not going back and forth between OneNote and the web. What it sounds like you're looking for is more of just a screenshot, right?
Oh, you know, the symbol for the tool is almost identical for Screen Clipper and Web Clipper. You're right. So it was the Screen Clipper that does that, not the Web Clipper. Maybe, yeah. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. I mean, there's just some different versions of the tool to play with. I'm just going to take a look up here.
Okay. Okay, any questions or thoughts about the PC version? I'm going to do a 2-minute demo on the Mac version now. It won't take anywhere near as long because it is missing a lot of the tools, but I think it's important just to see a little bit of the difference and similarities so that if you do have students with different devices, we know you're not shocked to see what it is that you're seeing. So let me do an application sharing. I don't see any questions popping up, and I know that you will let me know if you do have questions. Okay. Can you see, Louise, can you see what I've got up, the OneNote for Mac?
Yep. And you know what? I don't know if you caught Rosemary's question there about whether or not storage in the web version is free.
Oh, storage in the web version is free. Your storage in the web version is going to be limited by access to what kind of account it is. So, and what your OneDrive storage is, because OneNote really actually gets stored in your OneDrive. Even though you have a link for it and you don't necessarily use your OneDrive, it's storing it in your storage space. So I know with my school board, I think we have 30, you know what, we might even have more, but I think we have at least 30 gigabytes. So for me, my web version is the same as all my other versions, and it's essentially limitless. I will have to check what, and I'll do that in a couple of seconds, for a free Microsoft account, what the limit is, and see how big it is. And I will go and check that for you in a couple minutes. So don't let me off the hook. Remind me after to go and check if I haven't answered, but I'll do it when you guys are watching one of the videos. So I can tell something happened in the chat, but I can't see without leaving my shared screen. So I'm just going to show you okay, thank you. I'm just going to show you the Mac version quickly. Very similar. I like having my sections across the top, so I do prefer you working in this compared to the web version. And then on my pages down the right-hand side, I can also insert, oh, there you go, it just synced with the stuff. I do like having all of these different things that I can put into my little icons, especially when working with students. And so, but you'll notice that my insert, that there's no draw feature. So the Mac version, as of right now, has no draw. I can see, as you can see, I can see all the writing, but I can't create any new writing. It just is an image in here for me that I could delete if I wanted to, but I can't add any more. But I have an insert, and I can add tables, pictures, PDFs, files, links, dates, and time. And I've got views, and I can change the background page color, but I can't make it a grid on here. So those are the limitations of the Mac version. My instinct, and I have no reason, there's no reason to believe me on this at all. Absolutely no reason to believe me. My instinct is that the Mac installed version is going to get much better in the near future. The iPad version has just had massive upgrades to it in the last month, or maybe 2 months, that make it now worthwhile. For me, when I started this semester, I had a little bit of money as part of a grant to purchase some extra devices. I refused to buy iPads because you couldn't draw in OneNote with them. And I was teaching, the whole idea of the devices for me was math and OneNote. And so you couldn't draw in iPad, but now you can on iPad. So my instinct is that it's about to get much better. They have made it free to everyone right now, OneNote. They are pushing the school versions and the school accessible program, features. So my instinct is that it's going to get better, but I'm also not going to hold my breath until it's perfect. But I can understand why they're releasing the great features on the PC first. So that's a quick overview of the Mac. I'm going to stop sharing this now if I can, again, figure out how. There we go. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back to our web tour and see if this works. Of course, please sign in. What is that? Very odd. I wonder what happens if I sign in on it.
I say go for it, because I don't think it's a sign in that we're going to be stopped by the way it usually is. So I say go for it and see what happens.
Because this page, no, there's something wrong with the link for this page. That's what it is. It's not the actual.
Okay.
There's something, let me try this again. It's that plus sign.
Oh.
Okay, if that doesn't work, then let's try this. Okay, so that one pops up. Does it work now?
Oui. I see. Or wait a minute. Which page did you go to?
Different devices.
Okay, no, we're just on the OneNote homepage.
Oh, okay. Well, it was worth a try.
Definitely.
So, we'll go back to this. How many, quick check mark if you anticipate yourself or a student using a tablet for OneNote. If you see a tablet in your future for OneNote, a quick check mark. Okay, that's enough to make this worth our while. I would go to the different devices page that is in the link right now. I am going to bite my tongue for 2.5 minutes. Nice. I'm going to bite my tongue and be quiet for like 2.5 minutes. There's 2 videos there, one for Android, one for iPads. Sorry. Wow. And there's a quick video overview of the tablet OneNote. So if you want to watch one of those and then come back, I'm going to clear the check marks. When you're done watching one of those videos, come on back and the check mark, and we'll have a quick chat about tablets and devices and whatever not, and we'll try and bring up that chart, and we'll do it that way. Okay, so on this page, watch one of the videos there at the top, and then we'll have a quick chat. I'm going to turn my mic off for 2.5 minutes. On this link, it's not on my page, Louise.
No, I didn't think it did work for yours. I'm not sure why, but I think yours just might have frozen there. As long as people are watching the video, they're okay.
Yep. Okay, so there's the link there. Rosemary, the one I just put in the chat, and there's 2 videos there. So you can choose either of the videos on that link right there at the onenotefun.wikispaces.com / different devices. And I will be here. So green check mark when you come back, please, and thank you. Okay, I think everyone is back. I am just going to try and get a picture of that chart. Here we go, of comparing features. Let's see. How do I do my screenshot? Can you talk me through how to do a screenshot again? Louise, is it under the whiteboard tool?
It is actually, you have to go to the whiteboard. So right now we're in Inventor. So once you're there, now you'll see the little camera icon on the tool bar, tool strip.
Oh, and can I move? Yeah, there we go. Okay.
And once you click OK and you're back in Blackboard, just hit Enter.
Click on the ground. Right. Okay. Do you see it now? The chart? Oh, I've caused a delay in everyone while doing that. Sorry.
Got it now.
Okay. Okay. So let's have a discussion about different devices, questions you have, thoughts you have. So awesome. Thanks, Sean. Basically, the web version is very similar to the tablet versions with its simplicity. The difference with the tablets is that you can draw on the screen now. So looking here at these features, we have Open's personal OneNote notebooks, and the web does that. All of them. So if I go to Microsoft Office if I go to onenote.com on the internet and create my own Microsoft account, so it used to be Hotmail, but now it's a Microsoft account. If I go create a Microsoft account, then, or I think mine is Jacqueline Calder at outlook.com or something. That free version of OneNote files opens everywhere. The kicker is if I have a school